I don't have a test that I want to bring to the Jestedus. I just wanted to do a bit of coding. Whatever spec you wanna migrate, tell me and I will do it.
Are all the diffs migrated, Justin? Is Justin still here?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I had myself muted. Yeah, they're all done.
That's amazing.
I'm very pumped. If you want to do the entire notes directory next, then my development life will be way better.
I think that's motivation.
Like this one?
Yeah, that's it.
Is there an EE version of it as well?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
So let's just double check. EE.
I love that I get to selfishly drive these things.
No, it's fine. Spec, JavaScript, no notes. So that makes life a bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yes. So I have downloaded the Jestedus thingy. Can you just remind me the code mod? So I think I need to go to the Jestedus directory, right?
Yep.
And then the README should have some instructions.
Yep.
It just tells me, hey, I need to say, okay, source index.js is here. It makes sense. GDK, and can I just give it a directory and it's happy?
Yep.
Cool. It's so easy. GDK, GitLab, spec, EE. No, not EE, right? And I don't know why it's not properly wrapping. Ah, I know, because the window is too large, right? So now that makes it. Spec, notes.
Yeah, or JavaScripts. Do you want to move it
JavaScript.
Should we move it to the Jest folder first?
Yeah, totally.
Ah, so this migrates it basically in place?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just, keep that here. That will stay here. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I am doing copy of that. Obviously, it's a directory, so it needs to be recursive. And then we say friend, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So code shift, but oh no. Ah, yes, I know why. I recently yanked all my node modules. Gave me 20 gigabytes of disk space.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. What kind of world do we live in?
Exactly. Yeah, if you don't clean it up for a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, five files have changed.
34 did not change. That's weird.
Maybe there are already nodes in this folder. So.
Oh, that makes sense. But then, wouldn't it have like caught more stuff? You would think.
Yeah. See.
Oh, it put notes in notes.
Yes.
That should be okay-ish though. I guess our copy
notes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually good. I mean, I can move the files. That will be fine, right?
Yeah.
I think we don't need this helper, right?
I guess not, because we already have. Yeah. No, we don't need those.
This is something we don't need. Oh, collapse utils spec. So, to be honest, I actually kind of like it.
Like this?
Like this, because we can move them afterwards, and I now have them nice and contained, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just calling them move or temp or whatever, doesn't matter. And then I just need to adjust the
that's the downside, is that if you keep them nested like this, they're going to be, your paths are you have to fix them after.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that if the paths are actually correct, right? So if I, for example, move that, then the paths should have been, which button was it? Collapse utils, right? The paths are automatically adjusted.
Oh, because you're using one of those fancy IDEs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's cool.
So, okay. Let me just move it back real quick. Collapse utils spec, right? And I'm just going to copy the path. And then we can do yarn run just -- watch and just take this folder, right?
Oh, you need to now switch to the GitLab folder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yarn run just -- watch. And is it happy like that?
I've never passed a string to it, but I would imagine it's fine.
Looks good. Probably should have some complaints about like directories, right?
How come it's not finding those the components ones? Oh, it did find them. It did find them. I wasn't reading this right.
Okay, let me just have a look if the imports they are wrong, right? Ooh, view mount component helpers. Do we have equivalents for these in the front end?
Yep. All you got to do is it's just helpers. Helpers is a top level alias. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So makes it easier if we just search for it, find in path. Is there like how many directory? It's just the two. So we have the helpers, text helpers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mock data we need to adjust, like to have it one directory, find and bluff.
Or two directories up, right?
No, I think just one more, right? Yeah, so two in total, yeah. Yep. Mock data should be fine. Okay, this might be a bit one.
So this one, you can do the Jest alias to get to the top level of the Jest test folder. So Jest is a top level alias that gives you, so you do Jest this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That should work, right?
Let's just double check which ones are like, okay, this one is helpers, right?
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Just going through. Mock data is correct. Mock data is correct. Yep. Looks good, right?
Yeah.
That one. Cool. So what do we do here? How do you do this usually? I would just go in, describe it, and then.
So you'll get some for free, and looks like we got a handful that are passing. Some suites that we can just move probably right away.
Okay, good. So
I would
let me just interrupt. Okay, let me just do it and see which maybe some files. And I would just move all the files into the correct directory if they're already working.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of noise. Maybe we want to grep for pass or something.
I mean, we can just, the cool thing is that Jest, always resets it, right? So we can just scroll through. Fail. Give me the ones that are passing.
Are you able to search on your terminal?
It's not that many, to be honest.
Okay.
It's just the node body spec. Oops. No, that's not. So it's the node body spec, the notable node spec. Oh, that's a notable node. Notable node spec.
Yo, Doug, I heard you like notes.
This directory has some of my favorite nomenclature in the whole app.
Yeah. Okay, this one is also passing.
Notable body would be a funny one.
Collapsible utils is actually passing, so we can move it. Discussion resolve with issue button spec and the node signed out widget spec. Okay, these are all passing and probably the best things that we've ever seen, right? So,
and when did you download the Jest
master
code?
Jest I think like Wednesday, Tuesday.
Okay, so it would have had your recent thing, right, Justin, where we changed the path, like to use spec helpers to use helpers.
Yes. I remember doing it. I don't remember actually getting it merged in.
Oh, did you make a merge request, or you can also just
I don't recall.
Project.
I have this. It's been I've slept since then, so I no longer remember.
Oh, okay.
And
that's all right.
And I want to say I actually ran into a problem with it that made me not want to merge it in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So how do we go about this? We just start with the diff with node spec and be happy, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Do I focus even more here? No. I actually want more options.
You can just recall it with this. I usually just recall it with this file specifically.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I would just, copy the path of this file.
Yeah, so this has, I don't even think, this is a weird one. Helpers doesn't even, we don't have an index and export from helpers. So I think we want to do we need to, do we? Oh yeah, so this is like the old JavaScript helpers index. We don't want to do this. We want to do what we're doing for the other mount component with store thing.
Okay, what is that? Do you mean
if you do a search for import mount component with store, you'll find it.
You mean like in here?
Yeah.
So okay.
The import of it, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I think you're missing a semicolon.
I think Pretty will take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Shows image diff. Okay, actually pretty good. Fixed like almost all the things. It just seems like unexpected unmocked request.
Yeah, and so this is great that we're catching this. And so what is the request heading to? Is there a URL there, maybe?
Method get. Oof. This is rough. Like,
unexpected unmocked request. To JSON.stringify config null2. I don't know what that means. Is this image discussion fixture not?
It could be that we are not setting a URL properly, so it's trying to get an empty URL.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
are we doing Axios mock here at all?
No, we don't.
So in the Karma test, we don't fail if there's an unmocked request. We just warning out. So this happens where we had some test that was throwing some requests and we never did anything with it.
Fetch diff.
And so I guess, and so another thing that can happen too is, yeah, I guess we need to, mock that thing out, whatever the endpoint it's hitting. But I'm concerned I don't see a URL here. I'm really concerned. I'm like, line 10 looks really funky, of the error.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy to explain, because I assume that when we create this store, do we create the store somewhere? I mean, it has like create.
It looks like it's in the before each.
Yeah, so I assume that when we create this store, we don't set like the we don't set like the URL properly, like, right?
Which makes sense. We usually get these things from the back end.
Yeah. So let's try it out real quickly. If that is the thing, I would just try to do diff statement. Where was it? Diff actions. This one, right?
Would you be would you be up for console logging this thing?
Yep.
Nope.
It's trying to get nope. So I think.
Okay. So we want to actually. So we need to set our store to have this path, in that spec, and then we need to set Axios to mock it.
Yeah, and the question would be, And again, I have no idea. It's diff with node. Where's the spec? This is the spec. Diff discussion. I could, you know, oh, merge request diff discussion JSON. Oh, so maybe it's missing in the fixtures.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't even know where we're doing. Can we focus on the spec, because our setup may even not be doing what we think it's doing. Can we focus on the failing spec?
This one. Props discussion.
So what props, we pass this discussion to it. Oh, but wait. And here are props, we're doing an image diff discussion. Oh my gosh. But that would make sense that we don't have this line path for an image diff discussion, right?
Yeah. It would make sense. I could imagine that we actually have buggy code.
You know, you're imagining makes sense and could be a reality.
So this is if you have like an image div, right? Like this is in merge requests or in nodes, or is it like I have a node on an image diff with node? Yeah.
Image diff discussion mock. Yeah. So if we jump back to that component that we're actually testing, it always calls. Oh, if this does not if it does not have truncated diff lines, meaning that we return it if truncated diff lines is a thing.
And I assume that the discussion, if it's an image, never has truncated diff lines.
I don't know. Do we want to see what it's like in prod now? Can we create a discussion?
I mean, we created a discussion with a JSON fixture, right?
No, well, that's true. Well, it depends on how the fixture is built, but yeah, that's a good point.
I also can go to some discussion with an image. I don't know.
Is it making the call on the when was that line added, the discussion lines check?
Oh wait. Is this one?
No, the one in the component that's actually making that call.
When was it added? This one?
Yeah, that one.
If I don't have a Git extension here, let me just copy path and do GitLab, right? And then we do a GDK git billing. Okay, which line was it? Was added October last year.
Okay. Okay, so it's been around for a while. I think that.
To be honest, if you look at it, like is text file has been added after it. So maybe the check actually should be, hey, this fetch diff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Justin? Do you think we have a bug here in production, or do you think?
I've lost track of what the original problem was. What is Jest complaining about right now?
No, in the created hook, it's calling this fetch diff, but it can't fetch anything because the URL isn't set properly in on our image diff.
Maybe we need to add a check here in production saying like supports truncated diff lines, and it only does it if it has that path available or not.
Or if text file. Hey, now see the test pass.
Wow. Yeah, that does seem like a bug.
So the
I mean, to be honest, like probably the easiest check would be, I don't know what the store does if you would ever do that, is like, hey, in the, oh God, where is it here? You know, I
seeing where that's available. I'm sure we can also, if we do a project-wide search, we can see like, oh, this is only available for these kind of notes or whatever, and we could probably see that it's not available for images on the back end. Render truncated diff lines is a, yeah, I really think we need to be checking that this path, if this path exists or not.
Options, render truncated diff lines. Render JSON with discussion serializer.
If you go back to that, the expose project merge request discussion path.
Expose
path.
Which one? This one?
So it looks like it should be available. So maybe something's wrong with our fixture, because
I mean, render truncated diff lines makes no sense whatsoever on an image.
I have to agree with you. But if you look past the meaning, maybe everything starts to make sense. Yeah, no, it is weird. But I'm thinking that maybe this is doing more than truncated diff lines.
No, to be honest, like if you search for this discussion entity, what's the discussion entity? Like this is discussion entity, right? So where is? No, that's the discussion controller. Sorry. This is the discussion entity, right? And I wonder where this is used. Okay.
Truncated diff lines using diff line entity. If diff discussion and it's on text.
On text. Ha!
You're right.
Whew.
All right. Yeah, it shouldn't be there. And I would suggest throwing a check. Just if the path isn't there, let's not do anything with it.
I also wonder if like this has truncated diff lines.
Oh gosh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, see if is text file, and then it checks for has truncated diff lines. So to be honest, like this check probably should be
if it is a text file and it does not have truncated diff lines. That's the only time we need to fetch it, right?
Yeah, that's true. So actually this check is quite reasonable.
This makes me nervous.
Why? If you look at the rendering, right, has truncated diff lines is only used, and the discussion,
that's true.
It's only used then if is text file is true.
But then here's the one if we don't have diff lines. Oh, and then there's the different viewers if we have the image overlay and stuff. Yeah. Can we check? Can we do one more check just to calm my fears a little bit? Yeah. Nico, you're kind of in a different position.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, keyboard went out. The full custom.
Oh man,
had to be rearranged.
Can you check out the action, the Vuex action that calls it? I just want to see what state actually gets set here, and I want to double check that state is only used by this thing.
Set discussion diff lines, discussion ID diff lines.
It's just diff lines. Yeah, certainly that's not used. If we could do a search for discussion.diff lines project wide and get some discussion.diff.
I'm able to load diff. What? This is super confusing because it sets some diff lines, right? Based on the data truncated diff lines.
But it's going to be like used probably in another component.
Yep.
So if you do a search for discussion.diff lines, you look for discussion.diff lines.
We actually just need it in the app, right? Discussion. You can search for discussion.
Well, unless the mutation is putting it in a different place too. But I don't know.
There's no discussion.diff lines.
Well,
If I may, what is the issue? Something
Yes, can recap. So our Jest test is failing because we're trying to fetch a diff of an empty URL. And actually, Paul is just a little bit too nervous. If you have an image diff, it tries to fetch an empty URL endpoint. So the fix is actually to say, hey, is text file. And to be honest, like I'm pretty confident with that, just by looking at the backend code and so on, that this makes sense. To be honest, I don't like that this is at all here because we have like an image diff overlay. Why can't we move like all the logic that has to do with the text file into another component and have then
that actually has that.
Everybody.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. But that's also not part of this MR, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you make the test pass with this, let's keep moving forward. You know.
Yeah. Agree.
We'll catch this in the MR if there's an issue. So yeah, thanks for indulging my paranoia.
No worries. I'm moving that file. I will copy our path again, and then we can...
Well, did all the tests pass in that file?
Yes.
Okay.
They did. Press P to filter a file name by P, and then that, and there. So which one is the next? Oof. Similar mocking problems, right? Just let's focus on the first one. It's always good to focus on the first one, right?
No, and we'll stop when we get to the last one.
Cool. Discussion filter spec. What is failing here? Unmocked request. Oh, just 3 tests failing. That's good. Updates to the selected item. Okay. Okay, so apparently what they're trying to do is, wait, is it only updates or updates? Okay. So I assume that this is calling some stuff in the background and we, again, have no URLs, right?
Yep. This
okay.
seems to be the point.
That seems to be the discussion filter. Where are we clicking?
We do have params that we're passing there, so we could do a search on what params, what and you know, where do we use those params in our code base and see what URL we need to hit or where that URL is coming from.
I mean the nodes filter.
Yeah.
If those come from like the mock though, will be really tricky, right?
It's not that bad.
I would just actually look in the component and see what it's doing if we do on a drop down, right? Like drop down. Oof. Oh wow. Oh wow. This select filter sounds like it. Filter discussions. Filter discussion, where does it come from? It's dispatching something, fetch discussions. Okay.
But if you jump to fetch discussions, what is the path that it's reading from? And there's the nodes filter on 6. Yeah, this is the one.
So it's getting the path, obviously.
The path is the path.
The path is the path. This is from the state directly, right?
No, that's a parameter to the action. So we want to go back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh wow! No, that's another one. What? Why doesn't it find the other one? It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're doing this one. So filter discussion has a path. So we need to go back to our component. Get nodes data by prop. Discussion bar. This gets node data by prop. This states node data prop. What?
I think that's a good reaction.
There must be notes data somewhere, right? Nope, obviously there isn't.
Well, I think it was in the, that was a getter, I think, right? The get notes data by prop. So notes data must be in the store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why we're not just doing state.notes data is a good question. So it looks like our notes data, we are missing a path variable.
Do we even have notes data somewhere here?
Well, I guess in our notes, yeah. Well, no, you're right. We don't have notes data. What's in our discussion mock? Does our discussion mock have notes data? No, it just has an array of notes. What is notes data? That's a good question.
Maybe it's another, no, it's state, right?
Oh gosh, and then there's a notable data. Justin, you called this out, man. What is this stuff?
Let's
Don't you put this evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Wait. Oh God. Notes data. Huh. See. JSON parse notes data set notes data.
What? Is this? But this is
notes.
For a component, right?
Yes. It passes. To be honest, no, it creates the store here. Okay, it just types in the store. What does the notes app actually? So this is, by the way, if I look into this component next, and this component is actually just setting the notes data into the store, this is like the most hated pattern that I have. Is like, hey, I have a component. I give this component all this data, and then the only thing that the component is doing is setting the data in the store, which we've created here.
Did you see Nathan Friend's RFC, which just got closed and merged and completed, which is initializing state here? Yes, exactly what you're talking about. So it's in our documentation now. We should be doing this, not a fancy component thing.
Never. I don't have to ever pipe through URLs again. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, notes data. Apparently, I don't know what happens if we look into the mutations. Somewhere somebody must be. Oh, set notes data. Obviously.
What's the action that's being called there?
Set notes data. Commit.
Oh, the action is set notes data.
But in the component it was calling set notes data, and the one that you were just upset about wasn't calling a generic
Yeah.
Oh
so,
boy,
yeah.
This is what I'm saying, right? Like. And by the way, I'm trying to calm myself so that we can upload this to Unfiltered.
It's okay. Well, this is unfiltered, man.
So to be honest, so
we need to actually, we can either do a set state in our store here, and I would do it in our before each. And so one of the reasons, well, I guess we could do it in the mount here, and I see that we're creating a store in the mount. It's really helpful if you create the store outside of mounting the component, because then the setup for your test become really complex. But I see we're already doing that, so it's not a big deal. I would just dispatch set notes data with our own stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted discussions path, right?
Yeah.
So is it enough if I just say notes data dot discussion path equals test host example?
Sure. Yeah. Could we move that to a constant maybe?
Yes, that's a good idea. Const, and I think, typing would be good. There's obviously discussion part, right? Const discussion path equals this, and then we can just say, hey, we have the discussions path here. And then it's a bit complaining about, yes, I want to import test host. And we can just go and mock it, right?
Yeah.
So we need
And I would-
import.
Yeah, we
Access
need
mock
to
adapter.
get the Axios from.
God, my typing.
That's okay.
I don't know what's going on today. Okay, we
You
have
can't
the
do worse
access.
than me.
Yeah. Okay. So we can just do Axios
You
mock
get a couple
adapter.
extra A's in there.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more boilerplate with the Axios mock stuff.
Okay.
Let mock.
Let mock. Yes. Why? To be honest, like, why do we even bother with the Access mock adapter in Jest? Does it make our life easier? Just asking.
It does make our life. It makes things nice, but we shouldn't do this boilerplate for every test. We should probably do it once for.
So what do we do here? We do mock.
Equals a new. You instantiate the class, the new Axios mock adapter, but then you actually pass your Axios instance into it. So we need to import
Which
that.
you need to import it.
Maybe I don't. That import is obviously wrong.
And
No,
doesn't actually come from the helper. Yeah.
but it comes from our.
It comes from the helper. No.
Well, it's got to come from our libutils thing.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, and there might be another way to do it, but I remember there being a problem if you just import it straight from the one we didn't modify.
Then it was like mock restore, right?
Yep. Yeah, this is something we should do. Like, we should set up our Axios mock adapter.
You do mock on get.
Mock on get, and then we have the URL, and then we just do like, is it the body?
No, you need to do reply, right?
Why is it already passing though?
This is a good question, Justin. I'm a little nervous.
Because I think if you just do mock on get, it will just send an empty request.
And
because you already had the get, but if you get rid of the get, it should fail, right?
Dun, 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 dun. Is it because of test toast? Do we by default mock on test toast?
Oh, maybe that's an interesting idea.
That's a good question. We can say,
because I was actually wondering why we keep importing that test toast.
That was not the reason, but this is now we have a good reason.
Maybe we need to, because pattern matching. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh, I don't. Are we even making the call anymore now that discussion path is actually there? Because that's the other thing we changed.
Let's get rid of the mocks and everything. No.
And the const, you need to re-enable the const.
Yeah, I need to re-enable the const, but other than that, mock restore, obviously, we can call it if we haven't instantiated. No.
So mock Axios is now, and this is different than what it was in Karma and our Jest configuration. It must be mocking everything by default, or maybe we've updated it and now it's doing this.
That's what I was just thinking. Does it just mock all GET requests with a standard 200 response?
It's not supposed to.
Well, it's not that bad though. Well, it can hide some stuff though, right? When you write the test.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't we get like a failing test if I throw an error?
I think you need to do reply 500. Right?
Reply, yes.
Yeah, sorry for the pronunciation.
No, yeah, makes sense. Reply 500. And Nico is right. No, it doesn't care. Maybe it even catches the error, right? Like, if we go to that action again, no, it wasn't directly in the discussion filter. It's filter discussion.
Yeah, there's a catch.
And it's
it just catches like all the mistakes and doesn't care, right?
Which shows that we actually kind of are don't have some good unit test coverage here because we're doing, or maybe hopefully we do in the action, but it's like, hey,
obviously we do that,
it, but we don't even know if it's
so
we pass the right stuff to it or not.
To your point, should we mock it properly, just like so that we have a mock here? But if the mock is actually not doing anything, should we just
we should mock it? We should mock it properly because we want to get rid of. I have an opinion that we want to get rid of its current behavior of just mocking everything because I'm more concerned about hiding problems than it complaining.
So we are mocking the discussion. Oh,
but I would add this right below line 49 too, because I would do this before the components, or it doesn't need to. Well, I guess we also call mount component in there, but sometimes we call mount component like multiple times. Yeah, but I'm looking into now if there's something funky with our Jest setup that's causing that.
We are mocking the discussions.
Maybe in a new version of mock adapter.
Yeah.
Good. So let's move it now. Let's take this one, refactor, copy path, right? Copy path from content root, WP, okay. I think I have an idea here what the pattern of these failures is going to be.
I think you're onto something.
I think, yeah. So, notable data is notable. To be honest, like English would be like this, right?
Isn't it two different things? Like one that you can write a note on top, and the other is that this word of.
Oof.
I don't know. I'm not a native speaker, so don't ask me.
Yeah.
Paul and I are Texans, so we're not native English speakers either.
Yeah. Okay, which one is failing? Should be A.
Well, let's move along now.
Remove a what? Okay. This obviously makes sense that it fails as well, right? Because Jest spy pipes through by default, right?
Yes.
And so if toggle abort request is actually trying to do the post, which removes do we do a post for removing a flag? And why are we using the flag of Tanzania as in our tests? That's funny.
It's there.
So remind me again, if I want to spy on something and just have it be like, can I just do like VM?
No, mock return value.
Mock do you want to return a value or just
So this is caught by the code mod, as it knows when we do a switch, it knows that Jest by default passes through. So our Karma test probably had a and call through here.
Yes, but to be honest, like it doesn't test anything that it actually happened like with the API request or something, right?
That's
so
true.
If I'm looking into the awards list, and which one was it? It was the I forgot the function name already. What? Toggle award request, right? So map actions. It's an action, and to be honest, like we don't want to really call it in the unit test. It should just be. Can we actually in the store just?
Yeah.
But unless then is testing the result of that on the DOM, right? So that action is moving the state of the store, and the store is changing something in the DOM, right? That's probably what's happening because or it's just checking that it's cold.
Yeah. And what you're asking, IP, is there's lots of different ways you can test an action was called. You can add a spy on dispatch, which is probably the easiest thing. You can also pass in your own actions to it as spy. No, the way we're setting up the spy here is like that we're spying on technically the components method, which it would be nice to add a spy that the store was dispatched with these actions or whatever. But
I would
agree.
just mock the endpoint again.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, because we actually have the path here, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, generally, are there downsides to this apart from
Yes.
it's probably slower and stuff, right?
It's not going to be that slow. Like it's just a few other function calls, right?
Yeah. But to be honest, like these mocks are really tedious.
Yeah. Sure.
Do we still, rely on that test host stuff just to have it nice and clean, or don't we do that anymore?
I don't know. I think we do it if you're feeling nice.
Import Axios mock adapter. Oh wow! Right on the first time.
Nice.
Then we do Axios from lib utils Axios utils, and then we do it's in the before each. So here we can just do mock equals Axios mock adapter Axios.
New.
I forgot the new. We want to have mock, and now it should be happy. Yeah.
I'm not happy with what's going on here.
Yeah. Paul, you're saying that a lot this morning.
Well, okay. I am happy to be spending this. I'm happy to be spending this morning with friends over interesting problems. But oh no, what is going on?
What status is 418? It's errors how?
Don't you know 4118?
No.
Was it the teapot one?
Yes.
It's a teapot? Okay. Okay.
Is like stay to S? Isn't it like this? No, I don't know. Yeah. It works with, let's just go with 200 because we're nice. Okay. Which one is the next one? Node form spec.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have 9 minutes. We're going to do this.
All right.
Copy path.
It's funny that we all have a different workflow.
Yeah.
Manager. Oh wow, this is more fun stuff.
Well, would it all fail?
Spy on dependency.
Okay.
Yeah. The code mod failed. Huh?
Yeah, the code mod doesn't catch this thing, and that's okay.
How do I fix this?
Here's how you fix it. I'm glad we're catching this on video. Jump to your component node form and go to expand your imports. Git draft is what we're trying to mock. So that's module path, the libutils autosave is the jest.mock thing we need to do. Yep. And then in our before each, we can import from autosave in our test. In our before each, we can set like mock return values.
So we do. So I guess
it's called git draft. Yeah.
And then we do git draft dot
mock return or mock implementation, and we can just pass in the fake or whatever.
But there is a myth inside.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
What?
Too many curly.
I don't think it likes, you have like an extra parentheses thing going on. You've been looking at prettier too for too long.
Oh wow, that looks way better. What? Why are we stringing find stuff? Update draft is the same idea, right? So probably, so yep.
Yep.
Oh, and stop is just empty, or what?
But we don't even need to do this. Let's just get rid of it. But then we would expect update draft.
You gotta rename update draft spy as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's all good.
Nice.
So
glad that worked out better than I was thinking it would.
Did you were hoping to JSON? JSON? What?
Textarea is another component, isn't it? There.
Which one?
In the component itself, it's a normal text area or it's a component? No, it's a normal text area. No, nothing. Hey, my mistake.
Pretty format. So where is it trying to convert something to JSON? I mean, this basically, console error. No, it's not here. So it's probably having some actions or something going on that, map getters. Is there like actions? Map actions, toggle resolve node. No, what updates with draft? It's best to look at the test, right? With autosave key. Displays the draft with autosave with draft, displays the draft in the text area. Wrapper find text area. Okay.
So this is the form, like this is the markdown form and stuff. And I think we use some third-party libraries for this. I'm looking at the call stack to here, and I see this pretty format thing.
Should we just mock it and see what happens?
Mock pretty format, you think?
Yeah. Like
yeah.
with an axe, like.
To be honest, like what's going on here? Updated node body, right? Updated node body. It's actually calling this get draft stuff.
You sound like
they autosave.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I do. On the instance, but during render.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
Wait a second, isn't the pretty format the thing called by Jest, actually?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Property.
So is Jest trying to put down an error that something that he can't pretty format?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You think, oh wow.
No, you can see, actually there's like a view warning, right? And that's what it's complaining about. So something
Okay,
view is not happy.
Oh my gosh, but you're right. This is used by Jest, and Jest does like diffs and validation stuff to check.
But
Is it because we mocked that get draft, and now it's trying to use?
You think it's not calling it well?
Yeah, maybe it's trying to put in the. It's trying to put. I don't know.
Some key without draft. Okay, so dummy autosave key. What are we doing? This makes no sense. Like,
so can we add some console logs to kind of step through?
To where is the question, because I don't really know where it fails.
So, or let's try this out. If we go, let's just focus on one test. So let's focus on one of them that's failing, which is the leaves the text area empty, I guess. Or
displays the draft in text area.
Okay. So all that's doing is an assertion. So can we maybe comment out the nextTick and see, are we still getting an error if we comment out that nextTick?
I just want to see
Yeah.
where it errors. Like, and to be honest, like, okay, it errors after that. So maybe the wrapper find text area is not working properly somehow. Let's just do that because I like it more. Okay, so we're erroring here.
Oh, wait. What's dummy draft? What is dummy draft that we're expecting it to be?
But we don't reach that.
Oh, it's just a text thing.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Let's get rid of that. Let's do expect true to be true, and let's get rid of that expectation because I think this is a Jest issue.
Oh, how do we mount here?
Oh, but yes, but because
shallow mount.
I think view test utils. I think this is a view test utils Jest weirdness edge case that we've run into.
No, do you really think so? I mean, what happens if I do a full-fledged mount?
The HTML elements they do get mounted.
Yeah.
What? Why doesn't it mount properly?
Can you just wind back a little bit? Put that shallow mount back. Let's not change the whole universe here.
See markdown field. So if that gets stopped.
But you can it should render slots like view test utils is smart like that, but view test utils is known to have some.
The default slot, yes. But instead of element.value, why don't you run the view test utils value method and it will tell you probably I can't find a value of error wrapper or something like that. If you go in the it.
Yep, scrolling.
Here we are doing textarea element value, right? I think the function is dot value. I'm gonna double check. Wrapper.
like
text area dot value?
No, actually, no. There is set value, text trigger, main prop.
Yeah, I don't think there is a dot value.
But you can do attributes, right?
I mean, to be honest, like the text area, I think it would tell me it's an empty object, right?
That's really weird. Can we?
No. When you wrapper.find always returns a wrapper no matter what. So you'd want to do a text area that exists to be false.
Mm-hmm. And I think you can do text area contains, right? Text contains.
Yes.
For the value.
Yeah.
So it does exist.
It exists.
We expect it to. Were you saying doing dot text?
Yeah.
And text is a function.
Yeah, that text is a function, yes. Too fast.
Oof. No, it's not set.
We got rid of, did we change anything?
Can't you just out of safety run .html as a function so we see everything
this is a
there?
really good idea.
Yeah.
You want to log it out so you can see it, Nico?
But it will appear in the error, right? That's fine. It will say it's not dummy draft,
sure.
is all this stuff. Placeholder.
It doesn't have a value. Like what's actually used here for the V model updated node body?
So if you use V model, it will have a attributes value, right? Do you see value there?
Do text areas even work that way with value?
No. It needs to go inside the text area, right?
View is smart. Like they have their individual DOM elements. Each knows how to do V model.
So let's just be really smart and maybe assert that expect wrapper VM updated node body to be dummy draft, right? Because in order to expose it as the value, it needs to be set first.
Let's see. Let's double check that that's what's going on.
Yeah,
That
okay,
one passes.
So that one passes.
We may not be ticking enough.
Cut it out.
I don't know if it works like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Nico, what is our new favorite function? Like the wrapper VM?
No, I don't think it's that.
Oh my gosh, but wait, that's very relevant. This might not be reactive.
Oh boy, seriously?
This is what I'm talking about, Nico. Yeah, what are we, yeah.
Wrapper. But isn't that a Vuex store behind this?
We can't use this. we gotta solve the real problem.
No, it's not setting it. My question would also be if the rendering here with the HTML is like correct. Like, I don't know, how else can we test it?
So here's so what are we getting here? We call what test is this?
Sorry, I'm just double checking with the
you can
set data, get data, set value, text, HTML, find, emit by order. I mean, let's in the node form maybe just do. I mean, it should be reactive because we set it in the data, right? I mean, that's like the definition of being reactive, right?
Yep. No, that's true. Oh, but wait.
Yeah. Okay. Unexpected. Yeah.
If we go back to our test,
yes.
Where all do we call create component wrapper? We don't call it in the before each, which is good. Like, is it possible that we've called this twice? And is that going to cause an issue with the way we've done like our?
Can you check again in that before each how the component? How you would? Oh no, it's wrapper equal.
Okay.
Wait, object assign props. Why are we mutating the props?
Could you?
Go ahead.
So we're mutating the props.
This is just like a argument we're passing to our component. It's not actually props we're mutating. It's like rather than our component helper accepting props as a parameter, we have this shared variable that we're.
Yes, and it should be no problem because it's reset every time in the before each.
Right.
Lucas, just out of curiosity, could you try to console log textarea.properties or props? I will tell you immediately. Props and textarea.attributes, they are two functions.
Like here?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yes, and attributes. I think attributes is double T one F.
No, you're wrong. Haven't you gotten the update from the Oxford Dictionary?
Oh yeah, you can't call text areas.
No.
You can't call props on it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, because it's not a view component. It was correct. You just need to remove that line completely.
You want to do just attributes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any value on it, right?
No.
Because what I'm going to try out real quick. What happens if we change it for an input? Why is it complaining?
Well, I think inputs can't have children, or like they can't have a body.
That's so
Yeah, it
sad.
should be a self-closing.
Inputs can't have children. Hey,
Maybe we need to. Maybe they can adopt, right?
you know, they do. Sometimes they come in groups.
So it also doesn't set the value, right? No, write a comment. Oh yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
That's weird. Do we have other tests that test something on text areas here?
Yes.
Right.
And there's something weird going on.
Oh, wait a second. The textarea is inside a slot. Have you seen that?
Yes.
But it's a name slot. Name slot are not rendered on shallow.
Gentlemen, I gotta head out of here.
See you later, Justin.
Hi.
Take care. Could it be that
So-
we're looking at the wrong text area?
But
There is just one text area.
We're still finding it, so something's
yeah,
got-
so it is. I don't know. It's super weird. This.
Wait, we actually have a ref on here.
Oh, we could use the
Mounted focus.
Yeah, let's try with the ref.
I mean, if you're right. I mean, it's a pretty simple test, right? If it's because of the structure.
Props. You need to remove props from. Sorry
Why
about
did
that.
I add props again?
Okay, Command Z.
Ah, yeah. No. So it.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually finds it and has it rendered and.
All right. As one last, because I think if you want to go ahead and push it up with where it's at too, and then we can try to resolve it asynchronously too. That'd be cool. But as one last huzzah, can we reset the component to where it was at? Can we try one more thing?
Yes.
Let's try an actual double tick, and they're not great, but let's see if that helps. If we go to back to the
Double tick. You mean here, like?
So we're gonna do dot then, and then we're gonna pass in nextTick. Yeah. Yep. Just like that.
Oh,
and to
boy.
be honest, that's actually why I hate this prettier formatting, right? Because if you have no argument, you need to write this. Then you write an X, and then it's removed, and then you add a second parameter, and then you need to add parentheses again.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, that was not.
I mean, to be honest, like if it's because of reactivity or stuff like that, it should happen with the force update, right?
I don't know. I've never seen force update. So I don't know.
I mean, we tried. What's with the shallow mount?
Can you
tree setting? What does this actually do?
But that's for.
I don't think it's supported anymore because it was a little buggy.
Lucas, can you try to do something on the test instead of doing that expect textarea.html? Can you do textarea.element to match inline snapshot?
Element is also a function?
No.
It's just a prop.
True.
And then you need to empty the body of the function. Yep. Sometimes this brings out some insight.
It matches it.
Passes.
What? No, inline should update the code here. Should update the code in your editor. Well, you can remove the inline and try with snapshot.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Ah,
Aha, that's the thing.
And that's
The
what we were
same
saying too.
Yeah.
but isn't there like a lot more? I mean, wait, we also have like this on input function. What is vmodel actually doing on a text area? Is it maybe triggering this on input and then it runs this update draft or something?
So those all get passed. Yeah, those are all going to get passed to. Yeah, those are not going to show up in the snapshot. But yeah, something could be bumping into this for sure.
It could be resetting the value, right?
Yep. And so I think it's going to take some diving into, and I would prefer that we can find out the mystery here. But let's do it. Maybe I would go ahead and push it up. It doesn't have to be everything have to be passing.
No, I know, but to be honest, like I just want to try to figure this out.
Yeah.
if you you're the host of the meeting or something, right? So if you drop off, probably the recording stops.
You think will the recording stop when I hop off?
Yeah, probably, because is it recording in the cloud? Or
It is recording on my computer, so that would make sense.
Yeah. So let's just end it here. I can push it. You don't need me watching.
But we only have like three. We only have like 3 tests left of this folder, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. And we, we laughed along the way, and.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Here's a watcher.
Oh. What's that about?
No, it's watching node body, not updated node body. Updated.
Yeah, but updated node body is a computer prop on that, or it's a value?
No, updated node body, we set it in the data function.
Mm-hmm.
So updated node body is something we set in the data function.
Mm-hmm. But
so to be honest, like what actually happens if we do div
This is a good test.
with a dot, yeah.
Yeah.
And every time you write that, I'm not right. That's the funny. That's the fun part.
See, it works.
Nico is right.
So apparently the text maybe just the view test utils are somehow not happy with the text area or something.
Yeah, and that's a strong possibility that maybe with vModel, text area, and view test utils is not intersecting well. But it's still a little bit of a mystery right now. We're gonna have to dive into it. Yeah.
We never tried to do console log textarea.element.value. Yeah, Nico is right in the issue.
You mean here?
Yeah, or console log it. Well, now the inline snapshot is gonna fail. So
it's good sense. Because then we still see it, right?
Received undefined.
So that's wait.
In HTML. Bomb.
What do they call it? You don't get the text area from dot value. How do you get the value of a text area? And
there you go. The test is fixed.
No, it isn't.
Oh, right.
It's empty.
Empty.
Because it's not gonna have any. It's not gonna have any text to it. All right.
Wait a minute. Set view value does not lazy modifier is present. Okay.
I need to hop off, everybody. So I will.
Just do that. I will carry on.
Yeah.
Try to fix it. Cool.
Hey, thanks, IP and Nico.
No worries.
And Justin, who's not here anymore, for hopping on. And this was wildly successful, but this is a really weird issue, and I'm excited to see the fix for it. But yeah, catch you all later.
Cool.
Bye.